So, contrary to popular belief, it is 1000% acceptable for you to tell people no. You do not always have to put other people's needs before your own. Matter of fact, I don't think you ever should. Unless it's like your child or something like that, sure. But like grown ass adults, absolutely not. Listen, you only have one life to live. And I really wish I understood this concept before. I used to be the biggest people pleaser, you guys. And with that came a lot of resentment. I was always miserable, just sad, low on energy because I was always putting other people's needs before my own. But I realized through counseling that the reason you do that is actually for control. And it's not like you're waking up like, yeah, I'm going to control this person by doing this. No. It's not like intentional. I don't think we always realize that we're doing it, but it's what you're doing. So the reason why you people please in the first place is because you are trying to ensure that when you need something, they'll show up for you. And I understand, I hear you. Well, if you keep doing something for somebody, like, why do they feel like they don't have to do something for you? I hear you on that. I get it. It was one of the hardest pills to swallow. It was one of the hardest pills to swallow. But just like they're allowed to say no, you're allowed to say no too. You are allowed to say no too. You don't have to say yes. You don't have to volunteer your time to people. You don't have to give people money. You don't have to give people rides. You don't have to give people advice. You don't have to sit on the phone and listen to them vent. You don't have to do any of those things that you don't want to do. There's no rule that says you have to. So just like they can say no, you can say no too. And when I started applying this, y'all, to my life, let me tell you, I feel like the floodgates of heaven really opened up for me. Like, I cannot make this up. It felt so, man, I don't even have a word for it. It just felt so refreshing to be able to start telling people no and not feeling bad about it. Like, I cannot make this up. It was like empowering. Like, I felt like I was getting my power back. Like, no, I'm not picking you up. No, I don't have time to talk on the phone right now. No, I don't want to hang out today. No, no, no. I want to focus on what I got going on right here. And I want all of my energy and attention to be focused on this business, right? And you guys, when you do that, there's no more resentment towards people who don't return favors. There's no more being mad at yourself for feeling like you should have knew better. There's no more negativity. You just say no. And I think the reason why it's hard to understand that is because we live in a society where we feel like you're supposed to put people before yourself. No, you're not. Because when you put people before yourself, that is what causes resentment. And then the friendship, the relationship, whatever, that's why it fails. Because you're resenting this person for not doing what you think they should do because you did XYZ for them. See, it's a form of control. It's a form of manipulation. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that you're waking up trying to intentionally control people, but that is essentially what you're doing. You are trying to control what they do by you constantly saying yes. You're hoping that by saying yes and people pleasing, that when you need something, they're going to have your back. And then when they don't, your expectations are not met. And then that's what's causing you to be mad and to resent them and to be bitter. But you can bring all of the power back to yourself by saying no. So some of the questions I ask myself, if I'm trying to decide whether or not to do something for somebody, would I be mad if they didn't do it for me? If the answer is yes, then I just shouldn't do it at all. If I know for a fact, if I need, okay, let's break it down. Let's say I needed a ride, and maybe you're giving someone a ride to and from work every day for a while because their car might be messed up, or that might be bay, whatever. If the roles were reversed and you needed a ride, and one, you're not even sure if they would give it to you, and two, you know that if you needed a ride and you asked them and they said no, if you know you would be upset with them saying no, then you probably just shouldn't give them a ride at all. Because just because you chose to give them a ride does not mean they have to give you one. And I know, I hear you. I hear you because you're like, but why wouldn't they want to? Like, you've been there for them. I hear you. And this is why this concept was so hard for me to grasp, because I get it. I understand. You're right. If someone is constantly doing stuff for you, why in your heart would you not want to help them? I hear you. I hear you. But what you have to understand is you have to let people be people. And you have to let them. You have to let them. And if you know you would be mad if they don't return the favor, one, it's not even a favor anymore because you're expecting something back. But two, if you know you would be upset or feel some type of way, then you just shouldn't say yes. You should just tell them, no, I can't, and let it be that. You don't have to give an explanation. You don't have to write paragraphs. You don't have to do any of that. Just say, no, I can't, and let that be that. And when you let that be that, I promise you, you're going to feel so much better about life because now you don't have unmet expectations from people. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. And this saves you from dealing with people who are takers. There are a lot of people in this world or in this country. I'm in the US. I haven't traveled the world, so I can't even say the world. There are a lot of people in this country who are takers. They will try to take everything they can take before there's nothing left to take. And I don't know if they're all, see, that's the thing. I've never been a taker, so I don't know the psychology behind takers. I don't know if it's that they realize they're doing it or not, or if the dynamic of the relationship has just always been that way, or, maybe they grew up that way, so they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. Like maybe they've always been on the receiving end their entire life. So in their world, in their reality, this is normal, but in yours, it may not be, right? But it saves you from those type of dynamics. Because when you can put your foot down and say, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, then they can't take anything from you, mainly your energy. The reason people take your energy is because you're upset when they don't do things for you. Clock it. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. I want you to focus on pouring into yourself, building your brand, building your business, building your life, reaching your goals. You do not have to give your time, energy, money, resources to other people. There is no law that says you have to. Say no. And that does not make you a bad person. And even if it does, who cares? How other people see you is not your business. That's another reason why people please, because you want to be liked by other people. Yes, you want other people to see you as a good person, but let me tell you something. How other people see you is not your business. It's not your business. It has nothing to do with you. How other people see you is just a projection of how they see themselves. Hello. Listen, I cannot make this up. So lock in on saying no. I promise you, now I say no with no problem. And I'm not sitting here saying I don't do things with people. I do. But I only say yes to things that I know if I needed it in reverse, if I was not going to be upset if they said no to me. And then you know what type of people would be the ones that would say no to you. And then those are the type of people you shouldn't even want in your life because they're takers. They're takers. Maybe it's someone you're dating. Maybe it's a friend of yours. Maybe it's a family member of yours. The reason why you're second guessing, like let's say you want to ask your boyfriend or this guy that you're talking to for a ride. But the only reason why you're unsure if he would give you one is because you know he's a taker. So now I need you to evaluate yourself and figure out, well, why are you putting up with it in the first place? Because that'll let you know who should be in your life and who shouldn't be. And the people who are doing that, they're the ones who are diminishing you of your energy. They're the ones consuming your head because there's unresolved resentment, there's bitterness, you're angry because you do more for them than they do for you. But again, you're choosing to. You don't have to. Just say no and let it be that.